4:26 in the afternoon. The river stopped moving toward the sea. For 11 seconds, it did not move at all. Then it began to run backward. I was serving coffee by the ferry landing when every moored boat pulled against its rope. People on the boardwalk raised their phones together, watching white foam climb the harbor slope. The gulls abandoned every wooden piling, mud up here where water should have been. Then from the mouth of Calder River, a wall of brown came rolling back upstream. No rain above us, no storm offshore, no warning sirens from the dam. My father called from 20 miles upriver, tell everybody, get away from the banks. Windows shook along the waterfront. Street trains started breathing air. Something bigger than the river was pushing from somewhere. When the river reversed, we ran for higher ground. Boats climbed over sidewalks as the current turned around. When the river reversed, every bridge began to shake. The valley heard a warning no machine had thought to make. Leave the cars, leave the market, take the old and take the young. Move beyond the painted floodline before the second surge has come. When the river reversed, there was no time to explain. We followed what the water rode across the harbor plain.
The emergency channel blamed a coastal earthquake, but no seismic station showed a major wave. Then my father sent a picture from the canyon, a limestone cliff collapsing near the cave. The landslide hit a narrow underground channel, a buried branch that joined the riverbed. Pressure drove the trapped water toward the surface, forcing miles of current backward instead.
But his final message ended halfway through. There's another section starting to.
Nothing, no signal,
Just a river rising faster. The first surge crossed the lower highway. The hospital switched to backup power. Then an engineer beside me whispered, if that second wall gives way, we have less than half an hour. When the river reversed, the whole town moved as one. Shopkeepers broke locked doors so strangers had somewhere to run. When the river reversed, we carried what we could. Medicine and children through the rising muddy flood. No one knew whose house was drowning. No one stopped to count the costs. Every hand became a lifeline. Every street became a crossing. When the river reversed, river reversed.
Live from the ridge, hit the timeline snap. 426, first surge on the map. No ocean wave, no weather front. Subterranean pressure pushed the current up front. Canyon wall cracked, underground vein. Rock mass dropped like a closing chain. Water displaced, nowhere to spread, so it took the river channel then reversed instead.
Second fresher sitting upstream west. Strong feed shows it under stress. If the drops hold, that pressure will slam straight through the gorge toward the old South Dam. Forget the rumor, forget the feed, get the facts to the crews who need. Road 12 open, school buses clear. Move the shelter line another mile from here. And one more thing from the canyon zone, a rescue beacon just came on. 1 pulse, 3 pulse coordinates fixed.
Somebody's alive near marker 6.
I took my father's truck with 2 firefighters up the service road above the flooded bend. We found his beacon underneath the fallen pine tree. His leg was trapped, but he was conscious in the end. He pointed past us toward the broken hillside. A widening crack ran underneath the stone. He said, don't waste the next few minutes lifting me. Get that warning to the dam control. I told him no.
We weren't leaving.
The firefighters raised the trunk with jacks. I sent the coordinates and fracture measurements while helicopters circled overhead. Then the mountain moved
Not downward.
sideways. The second collapse struck the hidden channel, but engineers had opened spillway gates. The redirected pressure crossed the reservoir. Instead of driving through the lower strait, the roar rolled underneath the valley. Every light along the dam went white. Then the river stops. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3. And slowly the surface turned downstream again. My father looked at me from the rescue stretcher. Now you can finish that coffee. I laughed so hard I started crying. When the river reversed, we learned the shape of fear. Not from distant thunder, but from water drawing near. Whoa. When the river reversed, every warning found ahead. From the canyon radio to the crews beside the dam. Now the current verses. 3 weeks later. The station closed before I started working. A buried stop beneath the eastern line. My survey team was sent to map the tunnels before the city sealed them for all time.
We measured cracks and photographed the ceilings, marked every cable left beneath the street. Then through the wall I heard a steady tapping, 6 short knocks repeating underneath my feet.
The foreman laughed and blamed in a water pipe, but pipes don't stop when someone calls your name. I struck the concrete twice with my hammer, and from behind it 2 knocks came back again.
No chamber on the engineering drawings,
No doorway on the plans,
but cold air crossed the microphone.
from somewhere no one said began. Voices under concrete, buried out of sight. Names behind the station walls were waiting for the light. Voices under concrete, knocking through the years, not asking us to rescue ghosts, but asking us to hear.
Break the false foundation, read what still remains. Every hidden room can hold a history without chains.
Voices under concrete, louder as we near. A city built above them has a debt to finally hear.
We drilled a camera hole before the morning. The lens revealed a corridor beyond. Posters curled like leaves along the plaster of a wooden bench carried on. There were blankets, cups, and children's drawing dates from 1945 and 6. A handwritten board, a list of meals and medicine beside a wall of tiny candlesticks. The city archive, cold space non-existent, no shelter number, mesh a tunnel floor. But one photograph showed crowds near the station standing beside a long demolished door. On the back, one sentence: temporary housing, East District families. Someone crossed the words out in black ink.
We opened just enough to enter.
Dust lifted in our lamps,
Then hundreds of names appear,
written across the concrete in careful hands.
voices under concrete. Now the room has names. Families live beneath these streets when nothing stayed the same. Voices under concrete, not a myth below. A neighborhood survived down here when it had nowhere else to go.
Every cup and photograph, every penciled line says ordinary people made a life beneath the sign.
Voices under concrete, don't erase them twice. Open up the archive and return them to the light.
Check the ledger, page torn clean. Housing shortage when the 46 scene. Station wasn't running, tunnel stayed dry. Hundreds moved down when the rents went high. City called it temporary, months became years. Workers built partitions, volunteers brought gear. Then redevelopment came with a polished plan. Move everybody out, wipe the shelter from the map. Why? No treasure, no secret machine. Just officials selling a clean a city to dream. Records got box labels, got changed. Human lives reduced to sight, rearranged. And those knocks hold that supernatural claim. Loose ventilation played in a pressure frame. Trades above, shake it in a 6-speed code. But that accident led us down the hidden road. Sometimes truth doesn't call your phone.
Sometimes history waits in brick and stone.
Near the back we found a little classroom, alphabet card still hanging from a string. A teach stretch, the lay inside a cabinet, detected by a rusted biscuit tin. One surname stopped me cold beneath my flashlight. The letters matched a name my mother knew. My grandmother had always said her childhood was somewhere east before she started school. Her name was there,
Age 7,
bed 42.
recited in a child's uneven writing.
When we get a house,
I want a window painted blue.
I sat down on the floor and called my mother. She didn't speak for almost half a minute, then said she hated rooms right out a window. She never told she had once lived in one.
The demolition order came that evening,
The schedule said the wall must close at dawn,
but every member of the crew refused it.
until the preservation board came down.
By midnight, historians filled the platform.
By 2,
The city halted every drill.
by 4,
The names were being photographed.
exactly where their writers left them still.
I found one final note behind the classroom.
If this place disappears,
Please remember, we were neighbors, not numbers. Voices under concrete rise into the day. No polished redevelopment can sweep these names away. Voices under concrete, every line survives. A hidden neighborhood returns to public life.
keep the old foundation, open up the room.
Let children see the
Blue window drawing through the gloom.
voices under concrete, nothing left to hide. The city has another story running underneath its pride. Voice and concrete carry every day.
Not as victims frozen in a photograph or frame.
They cooked in the acres in the valley, rows of twisted branches silvered by the heat. The packing shed was leaning toward the hillside, and fallen apples had gone wild beneath my feet. She had stopped selling fruit before I finished college, and never sold the land when buyers came. Every offer waited unopened in her kitchen, every envelope returned without a name. I planned to clear the orchard before winter, then found small metal tags beneath the bark. Each tree carried numbers, dates, and initials, cut so lightly they were difficult to mark. At the northern edge, one tree was flowering, white petals opening after dark. Inside the shed I found a notebook, 40 seasons written line by line. Not prices, weights, or market totals, birthdays, weddings, departures, names, and time. The orchard remembers what the town let go. Every branch holds stories in the rings below. The orchard remembers who planted every row, who stayed through the winter, who had to leave their home. Not a monument of stone, not a photograph alone. The orchard remembers, and tonight it's telling me why. I took the notebook into town that morning. The oldest baker recognized the family name. He said migrant workers once lived near the orchard, in wooden houses long removed from county plans. Families came each season for the harvest. Some returned for 20 years or more. My aunt taught evening classes in the packing shed, and kept the letters in a cabinet by the door. The metal tags were not inventory numbers, they marked the trees each family helped to grow. When children were born, she added their initials. When someone left, she wrote the year below. But the flowering tree carried only one inscription: Elena, 1998, no ending date. I searched the boxes in the office until a cassette case slipped free. Inside was one unopened letter addressed to my aunt, from the lane of Ruiz, age 13. The orchard remembers voices after work, lanterns under lanterns when the evening turned. The orchard remembers every borrowed book, every name, the official history overlooked. Rows can disappear, buildings can be cleared, but the orchard remembers who made this valley alive.
No crime scene, no hidden vault, no villain needed for a memory to get lost. Seasonal labor, temporary address, people move on and the paperwork gets less. Check school rolls, clinic cards, old bus routes running past these yards. Names change, counties, children grow, whole communities vanish from the story we know.
Elena's letters looked and made it west. Mom found work and dad got rest. I start high school Monday morning, till the apple tree I'm still drawing. Then one more line at the bottom in blue, and when I come back I'll bring something for you. No mystery code, no secret design, just a promise delayed by ordinary time. The county planned a warehouse near the highway. My orchard sat directly in its path. The hearing room was filled with maps and numbers, projected profits, traffic lanes, and graphs. I brought the tax letters and the notebook, not to freeze the valley in the past. I asked him just to save the northern section, where 40 years of living still could last. A woman stood behind me in the doorway, holding a folder tight against her chest. She said, my name is Elena Ruiz, I think that tree belongs to my family. She had become a landscape architect and learned about the hearing from a friend. Inside her folder was a child's old drawing, an orchard with a school beside its end. She walked beneath the flowering branches, touched the letters carved when she was young.
My mother planted this one with your aunt.
She told me roots remember where they're from. Then Elena smiled.
I finally brought what I promised.
She opened a small paper packet. Seeds from an apple tree her mother had grown behind their house 3 states away. We didn't need to save every broken building. We didn't need to turn the fields into glass. We needed somewhere the next story could grow beside the last. The orchard remembers potted also grows, new roots beside the names from long ago. The orchard remembers without holding still, old branches over classrooms on the hill. Let the children out their stories.
generation walks between the rows.
No one has to disappear when the landscape changes here. The orchard remembers and keeps becoming more. Plant one for the ones who stayed. Plant one for the ones who moved. Plant one with no name at all for someone we haven't met.
The warehouse was built farther south.
The northern orchard became a community garden.
An evening learning center.
Elena planned. Elena planned. One paper crane on an empty desk, a faded date beneath its wing. I thought I'd thrown that summer away, but some small things remember everything. They closed our elementary school in springtime. The building waited empty through July. Before demolition, former students gathered to take one final walk and say goodbye. The hallway smelled of chalk and wooden lockers. Our painted handprints faded on the wall. I found the room where we had spent sixth grade, still looking strangely smaller than I recalled. My desk was gone, the curtains had been taken, but underneath the teacher's cabinet I found a dusty cardboard box of letters marked open when you're older, class 6B. We wrote them on our final afternoon. At 12 years old, convinced we knew our life. I searched the stack until I found my handwriting and saw another envelope beside mine. The last paper crane was waiting there, folded from a promise we forgot to share. Meet me when we're grown by the old school gate. Two childish signatures beneath the date. The last paper crane opened in my hands, and suddenly I started to understand. Some goodbyes don't know they're goodbyes yet. Some promises are simply sleeping, not dead. His name was Daniel, always by the window. His father moved the family overseas. We traded comic books and secret passwords and built impossible machines from broken keys. The week before he left, we had an argument. I can't remember what began the fight. I only know I turned away at lunchtime, never said goodbye that Friday night. Inside his letter, crooked lines were written. If you're still mad, I hope it doesn't stay. When we're adults, let's meet beside the playground. I'll bring the thing I couldn't give away. Attached beneath the note, a tiny photograph, two paper cranes up on the classroom floor. One had his name, the other one had mine, and on the back there should have been one more. Outside, machines were waiting by the fence. Tomorrow all these rooms would disappear. I checked the date we'd written as children. The promised day was exactly this year. The last paper crane was waiting there, holding 17 summers in the air. Meet me when we're grown by the old school gate. Maybe memory hadn't come too late. The last paper crane unfolded the past. Not every childhood promise has to last, but I couldn't leave without knowing why. He'd saved one final crane instead of goodbye. I asked her teacher if she'd heard from Daniel. She smiled as though she'd waited for the day, then handed me an envelope returned twice with foreign stamps and edges worn away.
Check the postmark, Singapore, then Madrid. A kid became a man, but remember what he did. Sent one in college, one at 23. Both came back stamped, no delivery. Teacher kept the letters in the old class file. Said maybe someday she'll come back for a while. No grand conspiracy, no coded disguise. Just distance getting bigger while the calendar flies. He wrote about trains and a job designing bridges. Coffee in stations, sketches in the margins. Asked if you still drew birds in your notebook. Asked if that angry kid ever learned to look back at a friendship without keeping score. Back at one Friday and an unopened door. Last line simple: if the school still stands, I'll keep that old promise if I possibly can.
I ran outside and crossed the empty playground. The afternoon was turning gold and white. Workers were removing signs above the entrance, while swallows circled slowly out of sight. No one was waiting underneath the gateway. I laughed at myself hoping someone would. 17 years can change 1,000 plans, and childhood vows don't always age as they should. I placed the crane beside the rusty nameplate, took one last photograph and turned away. Then heard a suitcase rolling on the pavement, and someone breathless calling out my name. He stood beyond the fence, older and taller, a little gray already in his hair. He raised one hand and held a folded paper, blue like the one he made back then. He said, I nearly missed the train from the airport. I wasn't sure that you would come at all. I said, I nearly left 3 minutes before you. We laughed until neither of us could talk. No perfect speech, no grand reunion, just 2 old friends beside a condemned skull. Then he unfolded what he carried and showed the words inside. Sorry about Friday. I turned my crane over and wrote me too. The last paper crane, he's been waiting now. We finally kept that promise somehow. No frozen child and no rewinding years, just 2 grown voices laughing through the tears. The last paper crane can leave the past. Not every precious thing is meant to last. The walls come down, but what they couldn't take was one small promise we were late to make. The last paper crane flew from our hands, caught by the warm wind over empty stand. We watched it cross where the glass rolled. Three notes in the pines every night at 1:13. No tower on the mountain, no transmitter on the screen. My grandfather left me a cabin in the Northwoods, a weather place he hadn't used in years. I went to clear the rooms before the winter, expecting dust, old books and souvenirs. Behind the stove I found a field receiver with penciled frequencies taped along its side. At 1:13 it woke without a power cable. 3 perfect tones came cutting through the night. Then came a woman's voice, calm and measured. Station 7 soil reading 29. She gave the temperature, rainfall and pressure, then ended with the western trees are fine. There hadn't been a station 7 on any map that I could find. The next night came another transmission, same 3 notes but different words. Station 7, roof damage increasing. Do not remove the marked red furs. Signal through the pines, who kept you alive? Speaking to an empty room since 1985. Signal through the pines, buried under green, counting every change that no one else has seen. Not a warning from a ghost, not a story made for fear. Someone built a memory and left it running here. Through the pines, I hear you tonight. Tell me what the forest has been trying to write. I followed faded paint across the hillside, red circles hidden underneath the moss. Each marked tree stood strangely pale and brittle, while younger growth around them carried on. A ranger told me lightning caused the damage, another blamed the beetle moving north. But in my grandfather's notebooks every red tree was drawn beside a line marked Project 4. The pages showed a research team of 7 studying chemicals from a shuttered mine. They planted sensors deep around the watershed to measure what was traveling through the pines. Then funding vanished, the mine changed owners, the research disappeared from public files. But Station 7 never stopped recording. It had been talking to itself all this time. I dug beside the oldest painted tree and found a cable under stone. It led downhill beyond the county boundary toward a bunker overgrown. Signal through the pines, now I know your name. Forgotten field station still documenting change. Signal through the pines, year after year, building up a history nobody stayed to hear. Every number has a season, every reading has a scar. 30,000 nights have shown us where the toxins are. Signal through the pines.
frequency, check the archive trail. Grant got cut, company lawyers prevailed. 7 researchers, 6 packed away. 1 stayed behind for an extra day. That was your grandfather, look up at page 9. Got back up, recorder independent line. Solar cell buried where the rich get sun. Low power system designed to keep it run. Data wasn't gone, it was stored in rotation. Voice summaries made for remote confirmation. Every night, same time, machine reads the state. Forest kept receipts while the people debated. Mind changed logos, changed names, changed hands. Rain kept carrying metals through the land. This ain't folklore, it's 30 years deep. A machine kept watch while the town went to sleep.
I called a university named in the notebook. A retired professor answered after dawn. She knew my grandfather before I said his surname, and went completely silent on the phone. She said we thought his final unit failed us. We searched that ridge but never found the line. He told me if the project was dismantled, the forest itself would safeguard the design. By afternoon, team was heading northward. By evening, samples filled the cabin floor. The numbers matched the nightly spoken records, and proof contamination reached the reservoir. The one thing didn't fit the story. The woman's voice was not synthetic speech. The professor heard the recording and whispered, "That's me," when I was 23. She had recorded hundreds of standard phrases, so field units could report by radio. My grandfather built them into combinations, a human voice for numbers long ago. She laughed and cried beside the receiver. I haven't sounded like that in 40 years. Then suddenly the familiar tones were followed by a sentence none of us had ever heard. Station 7, threshold exceeded. Northern tributary requires immediate review.
No legend, no prophecy, just one precise fact, arriving exactly when we needed it.
We moved before the storm came. Signal through the pines, carry it clear. 30,000 nights were leading us here. Signal through the pines, every hidden line turned a forgotten experiment into a warning sign. Now the valley knows the story, now the record's out the name. No company can wash away the numbers with the rain. Through the pines, keep speaking tonight. A forest full of evidence is stepping into light. Signal through the pines, steady and strong. At 10 o'clock the doors were locked. At 10:05 the lights went low. At 10:07 gallery 4 displayed a painting no one owned.
I worked a late shift at the city museum, checking every room before I turned the keys. Marble faces watch from silent corners. Old ships left behind their sheets of glass. The final visitors are left before the rainfall. Security confirmed that every hall was clear, but on my screen a motion sensor flicker. Inside a gallery closed for half a year. Across the corridor expecting faulty wiring, found a canvas hanging on the wall. A crowded ballroom painted in deep crimson, with one blank figure standing near the hall.
No label,
No accession number,
no record
of the frame it at all.
I called the garden turn to show him, but the painted room had changed.
One chair was empty near the doorway,
And the blank-faced figure faced our way. Museum after closing, don't turn out the light. Something in the pictures rearranges every night. Museum after closing, count the empty frames. Every painted stranger seems to know our names.
no footsteps in the hallway,
No shadow on the floor,
but someone keeps on moving closer to the door. Museum after closing, stay until we see
why a room from nowhere has a place reserved for me.
We pulled the camera footage from the server. The canvas first appeared at 10:03. No person brought it through the loading entrance. It simply entered frame between two screens. The curator arrived still wearing slippers. She stared and nearly dropped her set of keys. She knew the ballroom from an old photograph. A mansion lost to fire in '63. The museum owned 12 paintings from that family. 11 hung in storage underground. The 12th was listed missing after the disaster and never officially recovered or found. She opened files sealed inside a cabinet and read a note the former director signed.
Portrait 12 must never join the others.
Keep every related camera separated at all times.
We took the elevator down to storage. 11 covers waited in a row. Before we touched them, every alarm started, and gallery 4 went dark above. Museum after closing, now the walls awake. Every silent portrait has another move to make. Museum after closing, 12 become a chain. Pieces of a moment coming back again.
A ballroom in the fire, a family erased, but one unfinished figure never had a face. Museum after closing, somewhere in that scene,
A missing piece of history is asking to be seen.
hold up, hold up. Frame by frame inventory check. 11 in the basement, 1 on the deck. Dates don't match and the records look clean, but clean paperwork and hide a dirty scene. Old director bought them cheap in '64. Private sale, no question, straight through the door. Fire took the mansion, that's what papers claim, but insurance notes show half the collection was named. Look, the canvas, ultraviolet trace. There's writing underneath where they painted that face.
To Eleanor, finish this when you return.
Then a second line, blackened by the burn.
No jewel effect, no supernatural score. This is provenance knocking hard at the door.
Maybe the movement isn't flesh in a frame.
Maybe 12 painted panels, complete one name.
We carried the 11 works upstairs, stairs together against the warning written long ago. Placed them around the unexplained ballroom in the sequence shown beneath each wooden bell.
Landscapes became windows, portraits became guests. A painted staircase joined the ballroom wall.
The separate works were pieces of one panorama, a single hidden composition after all.
Then portrait 12 began to lose its crimson.
The blank-faced figure slowly gained a form.
An elderly woman standing by the doorway,
Holding blueprints underneath her arm.
the curator whispered,
Eleanor fell.
the architect who designed this museum. The room went still.
The mystery wasn't why the paintings found us.
It was why her name had vanished from the building.
We searched the oldest construction
Her
records,
signature appeared on every page.
but the dedication credited her employer.
A famous man remembered by the age.
Eleanor had survived the mansion fire.
She donated every painting years before.
On one condition, when the museum was ready,
The complete work would hang in gallery 4.
the director took the art, removed her history.
And never fulfilled the agreement.
The unfinished portrait wasn't waiting for me.
The blank figure had been waiting for her name. Museum after closing, open every light. Put the 12 together, let the record read it right. Museum after closing, write her name in gold. Tell the missing chapter that was never truly told.
No stranger crossed the hallway and Zephyr escaped the door. A promise left unfinished simply found its place once more.
Museum after closing,
Morning finally came,
and the woman in the doorway had her caliber coming. Museum after closing, now the room is still. 12 connected. Under the water, something remembers. Names carved deep where the daylight ends. No map shows the road below us, but tonight the river speaks again.
muddy shoreline, past rusted signs from streets erased by time. A church bell tower leaned beneath the surface. Its broken clock still frozen at 9:05. Old Mr. Hill came running from the hillside. He grabbed my coat and told me, turn around. He said the valley flooded for a reason. Some things were safer underneath the ground. Yeah.
And in his hand I saw my sister's bracelet, the silver birch he never took away. He swore he found it years ago by accident, but fate was written over what he'd say. Found footprints through the exposed foundations to a tunnel sealed with concrete stone. Behind the wall the radio grew louder and now his voice said, you are not alone. Blackwater calling, tearing through lies, past all the records they tried to disguise. Echo after echo the signal returns, names in the darkness, pages that burn. Blackwater calling louder than blame, 17 women couldn't erase her name. Whatever is hidden beneath this ground tonight, every secret is coming out. Inside the tunnel were shelves full of ledgers, photographs, letters, boxes marked by year. The valley wasn't empty for the reservoir. The flooding buried evidence and fear. A private company poisoned all the groundwater. The council signed and told the town to leave. Mara found proof inside our father's workshop. She planned to show what no one would believe, but she was never taken by the water. She ran before they could make her disappear. The final tape was dated 3 weeks later. Her own handwriting made the message clear. If you were hearing this, I made it northward. I changed my name so they would let me live. Don't spend your life believing I was buried. Find what they stole and give back what they hid.
Yo, no finish line, this is evidence stacked. Ink on the paper, ran the town off the map. Contracts folded in a government drawer. Clean hands talking while they poisoned the shore. Hell kept quiet cause they threatened his son. Mara kept copies, then she had to run. Every coded number was a file and a date. Every midnight broadcast put a crack in the gate. 17 years and the signal stayed buried. Old tape loop spinning while the whole town carried a story built wrong from the first headline. Not a ghost in the lake but a witness in hiding. So read every page, let the names to daylight. No myth, no legend, no monster tonight. The deepest thing here wasn't under the wave. It was people choosing what they wanted to save.
I stood in the chamber with the tape in my hand, angry at the years I could never reclaim. I wanted my sister, not another explanation, not a box of proof, not a list of names. Then the receiver clicked beside me. A live voice broke across the line. Older, shaking, unmistakable. Nina, if that's you, I'm still alive. I couldn't speak, I couldn't breathe. The whole drowned valley disappeared beneath me. She said I heard the water level fell this morning. I knew somebody might finally get inside. I never stopped watching our hometown from a distance. I was waiting until it was safe to testify. Blackwater calling but not from the grave. It carried a witness the silence couldn't take. Echo after echo has opened the door. No one can bury these voices anymore. Blackwater calling, let every bell sound. Bring every hidden page up from the ground. Mara is coming where the old streets rise. And morning will meet us with nothing disguised. Blackwater calling, remember the names. Not for revenge, but to answer the blame. Lake held the ruins, the truth held its breath. But truth isn't buried just because it's left. Blackwater calling, I finally know. Some echoes are. Where endless arches meet the sky, a sea of flowers learns to fly. Every blossom starts to glow, only faithful dreamers know. Crystal petals drift away, lighting every newborn day. Every heartbeat finds its flame, nothing here remains the same. Golden breezes softly sing, welcoming eternal spring. Every whisper fills the air like forever waiting there. Touch the bloom, feel the light, leave behind the endless night. Take my hand, cross the sky, teach your dreams to learn to fly. Hear the stars call your name. Every winds blowing softly through our veins. Take the chance and own the flame. Let tomorrow know your name. Every challenge shapes your soul. Every step will make you whole. Break the limits, touch the sky. Never fear the reason why. Every heartbeat feels the fire. Take your vision even higher. Stand together, never fall. Here tomorrow when it calls. Write your future, make it real. Trust the power that you feel. Leave a light for those behind. Hope is stronger than the blind. Every dream unlocks the key. Opening destiny. When the glowing flowers fade, hope is never lost in shade. Every promise still survives deep within our endless mind. Though the petals drift away, faith will always find a way. Love remains forever true. Every road returns to you. Run with me forever free. Across eternity, every blossom lights the sky, teaching every soul to fly. Lift your voice into the dawn, long after the night is gone. Every promise still survives deep within our endless lives. When tomorrow paints the blue, every dream will carry through. Every road we've traveled on leads us to a brighter dawn. Together we will bloom once more past the everlasting shore, where celestial flowers shine. You're forever next to mine. When the final petals glow, every faithful dreamer knows every light will guide us home. No one walks this path alone. When the blossoms bloom once more, we'll return beyond the shore. Hand in hand we'll always be, bound through endless destiny. The town was holding its centennial weekend. Paper flags were hanging over Main Street. I worked the final shift inside the theater when music started somewhere underneath.
Across the square, the old department windows flashed with colors, though the power had been cut.
In every pane I saw a Ferris wheel turning, but in the empty square there wasn't one.
Then children ran from restaurants to see it.
Adults gathered underneath the clock,
A carousel appeared inside the reflections.
going round without a rider or a stop. Someone shouted, "Look behind you." Nothing stood beneath the moon. Look into the glass again. The carnival had moved closer to the room. A carnival without shadows, spinning in the glass, bright enough to touch us. Nowhere when we turn back. Carnival without shadows, painted horses run. Every mirror shows a midway underneath a different sun.
Hear the laughter through the windows.
Watch the silver circles glow. Carnival without shadow, why does every reflection know
Exactly where we'll go.
round and round, pane to pane?
Turn around,
It's gone again,
round and round.
closer now.
Something wants to
Show us how.
My brother Owen brought an old projector from the archive underneath the town hall.
He found a real marked bellwether exhibition.
Dated 1929 that fall.
We ran the film against the theater curtain. A traveling carnival filled every frame.
Ferris wheel, striped and some mirrored fun housed.
Then underneath appeared another name.
The Palace of Tomorrow.
An exhibition built from polished panels, designed to show the city yet to come. But during closing night, a fire destroyed it, and every mirror wall was thought to be gone. Owen threw the final frame and pointed. The square behind the carnival was ours, not as it looked in 1929, as it looked tonight.
Same theater sign,
Same renovated station,
same clock installed in 94.
a film made nearly a century before.
Carnival without shadows.
What did they create?
A picture of our future made before our grandparents' day.
Carnival without shadows. Every window burned,
Showing us a town that hadn't yet been built when film was turned.
no fortune teller's answer.
No simple camera trick.
Carnival without shadows. Every frame is changing quick. Roll that reel, stop at 23. Mirror pavilion inventor named Lee. Optical engineer with the patent denied. Layered reflection prediction written on the side. Sounds supernatural, check that claim. Architect sketches piled under the same name. Lee study planning mass population flow. Rail expansion proposal 60 years before. He didn't see tomorrow like a mystical scene. He modeled how the town might grow in between. Projected glass overlays, perspective aligned. Possible future streets designed in his mind. But here's the twist, that doesn't fit clean. Tonight's new sculpture is there on the screen. Installed last Tuesday, no century-old plan. So somebody updated what the mirrors began.
Check the theater basement, west wall move.
There's a sealed maintenance corridor coming into view.
We opened plaster underneath the staircase.
And found a room forgotten in the plans.
Dozens of mirrored plates stood on old brackets.
Connected by thin wires and copper bands.
A modern control box
Blinked beside them.
installed no more than 20 years ago.
Inside we found my father's handwriting.
Owen whispered.
He knew.
Our father had maintained the civic theater
Until the winter illness took his life.
His notebook said he'd found Lee's installation.
And quietly restored the damaged life.
The system wasn't predicting future buildings.
It gathered images reflected through the squares.
Storefront glass bounced light toward hidden lenses.
Old machinery combined what entered there.
Carnival was Lee's original projection.
Layered over whatever the square became.
Past and present.
Occupying one reflection. Then we found the final switch our father labeled
Centennial. Do not test early.
Owen stared at me.
I stared at him.
Dad had programmed the restored machine to activate for the town's 100th celebration.
The impossible carnival wasn't a warning.
It was a gift. On the desk lay a note.
If this still works,
Let the weather see where it came from. Without pretending the past is where we live.
outside the mirrors brightened.
The old carnival filled every window. And for the first time,
People stopped trying to turn around.
they simply watched. Carnival without shadow blaze across the glass. Let the present meet the people walking through its past. Carnival without shadow turn a whole square bright. 100 years together in a single layered night. See the old wheel throw. I grew up where the fishing boats left early, and every family knew the weather by the gulls. My grandmother kept a lantern in her window, though her own small boat had disappeared years before. She said my grandfather sailed one November with 6 other boats before a sudden gale. The Coast Guard found the nets and broken timber, but never found the crews beyond the veil. Then every year up on the same cold evening, 7 amber lights would form beyond the bay. The older people closed their curtains quietly. The younger ones went down to watch them sway. They called them sailors coming home, a story children learn by heart. But Grandma never called them spirits. She said those lights are showing us a chart. Lanterns beyond the fog, 7 in a line, drifting where the harbor ends beyond the warning sign. Lanterns beyond the fog, don't vanish with the tide. If you've carried something all these years, tonight we'll read the light.
year my grandmother turned 87. She handed me my grandfather's weather book. Between the pages lay a hand-drawn coastline with 7 circles marked beside a hook. Each circle matched the pattern of the lanterns, but one was drawn much farther from the shore. Beside it he had written second channel, safe when northern storms close harbor for.
No modern chart contained a second channel. The seabed map showed nothing but a ridge. I took the book to Hannah at the harbor office. She stared at one old dev report and said,
"This survey ends exactly where he marked it."
That evening fog rolled through the harbor. 7 lights returned on time, but instead of floating without order, they shifted into his pencil light. Lanterns beyond the fog, drawing once again a passage through the hidden reef forgotten by the men. Lanterns beyond the fog, 7 points of flame. Maybe what we called a legend always had another name. One moves north for hold still, to disappear behind the hill. Lanterns beyond the fog lead us where the charts went blind.
Check the old tide tables, 1968 storm survey canceled, data filed late. Fishermen knew routes that the office never mapped. Local knowledge lived where official records cracked. 7 missing boats, look closer at the page. Radio transcript buried in a weather archive cage. Main harbor block taking channel 2, following Cato's lantern markers through.
Lantern markers, there's the phrase. Temporary floats used in rescue days. Oil lamps mounted on cork and steel, anchored to show where the reef would peel.
But who keeps lighting them year after year?
Nobody.
Now the answer gets clear. Not flame on water, reflection in mist. 7 shore lamps hitting moisture at an angle like this.
Old lighthouse glass, warehouse panes. Refraction bends through temperature lanes. Folklore grew where physics drew the same lost truth the fishermen knew. We climbed the abandoned headland lighthouse and cleaned the windows blackened by the year. 7 old signal lamps stood in a storage chamber, their lenses aimed through narrow openings toward the pier. At sunset, harbor lights struck through the lenses. The fog became a screen above the sea. 7 amber images formed across the water, exactly where the old safe channel used to be.
My grandfather hadn't sent us an apparition. No dead men sailed beneath those points of gold. The harbor itself had accidentally preserved the navigation system generations old. But
Hannah found another line inside the transcript.
channel clear, all 7 vessels through.
I read it twice.
All 7 vessels through.
The crews had survived the November storm. They reached a northern village before dawn. But my grandfather never returned to our harbor, because his damaged boat continued farther on.
Record showed he worked abroad for several seasons, then died before a letter reached his home.
A clerical error changed the destination,
And Grandma spent a lifetime
thinking he was gone. Not abandoned,
not forgotten
not swallowed
by the sea.
He had survived that night,
And in the archive waited one last envelope,
never delivered.
addressed to her.
Lanterns beyond the fog shine across the bay, not for ghosts returning, but for ghosts who found a way. Lanterns beyond the fog, 7 points remain. A route that carries 7 crews, a life beyond the rain. One burns high, 2 burn low. Now the whole old harbor knows. Lanterns beyond the fog, we're drawing home across the blue. Lanterns beyond the fog, Grandma held his page. 60 years of silence opened softly with age. She read his final letter, then pressed it to her heart, and said, I knew those lights were trying to finish what?